Alrighty, I have started the recording. Um, who would like to recount the previous session for an experience point? If no one takes me up on this, I will earn the experience point by reading from my notes, as I've been keeping a detailed timeline. Which I notice Chris immediately logs into when session begins.
Can't be expected to keep track of all this.
That's why Remy is the mastermind.
Yeah.
Nobody? All right. So according to my notes last session, you guys did a recruitment. I think you started by going to a small rundown village, and oh yeah, you met Jax. You stole some papers off his desk. You went and killed a person and left his papers, so Jax would be blamed. And in so doing, rescued what's his name? Barnabas, the dwarven con man and master of disguise. Silver-tongued Barnabas. Oh, his name's actually Silverstone, isn't it?
Sure is.
And then after that, you took another detour, arriving at a castle. And there you talked to a jester who gave you a magic, well, not a magic, he gave you a flute that has sonomantic properties. As far as you guys are concerned, it's a magic flute. And then, then Dasco began his con, in which he began convincing the king that the battle axe that you guys had taken off of one of the guys you killed, actually one of the guys you frightened away before you started the killing, when rescuing Barnabas, Dasco convinced the king that that axe is valuable, and he began an elaborate plan to create a high-stakes bidding war between multiple parties. Barnabas is disguised as a potential bidder that's trying to fight his way past Dasco to get into the private auction. Dasco is pretending to try and keep Barnabas out so that the king can get a better bid, a better price on what is essentially just a regular battle axe. And at the same time, Dasco had let slip to some random member of the king's court in a bar that there was value there. And so that member is also present and is trying to get a leg up without pissing off his king. Does that sound familiar to everyone?
Yes.
Yep. Bottom.
So in this scene, the king will of course be played by Troy. The random guy from the king's court that also wanted to bid on the axe will be played by Tice. I think you had a cool name for him.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I thought I wrote it down, but apparently I didn't.
Well, it is in the recording, which I did put up on YouTube, so I can go listen to the recording and figure it out. Oh, it's Reginald. I wrote it down, actually. Yay! Taking notes is invaluable.
Yeah, I have a picture of him in the Talus smoking a pipe.
Right. And so this is where we left off. Is the crew is all there. Barnabas in disguise. Dasco trying to hold him off. I don't know what your plan is. Your plan is to fail to hold him off, or how that's going to go. But I do know that when Evatala makes the final actual roll to determine how much money she gets for the axe, she's got an additional 3 bonus die from Dasco's original inception of the idea. So Troy, as the king, you're effectively in charge here, and you can dictate how you want to let this auction go. Including ordering everyone to be executed. Not sure how successful you'll be in that endeavor, but yeah. Probably want to stay on good terms with these people anyway, since it seems like at least one of them represents Celebre and is carrying around a pretty valuable axe, so is probably not somebody that you want to cross.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened when we left off. I
I'm
know,
pretty sure the bidding war was like literally just about to start when we left off.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I
what
was holding the door basically, and the bidding war was just getting underway.
Because we had done the display, and then the person came in, and then I was thinking of what to do about him coming in, and I decided to let him stay. And Dasco's holding the door.
Now, Dasco's holding out that mysterious visiting scholar from Thordil, who Dasco said is probably here to try and purchase the axe. The member of your court, of course, will probably behave himself, although that's up to Tice. But do you want to go with Dasco's plan and have Dasco try and keep that person out? They're trying to push past, clearly.
Yes, so I think we, if what is the name? I'm lost the name.
Barnabas?
Barnabas is the one locked out, right?
Yes. Dasco is the one keeping him locked out.
Right, and so
Evatala is the one with the axe. And Reginald is the member of your court that has arrived.
Evatala? Is that how I say it?
Who?
Evatala?
Evatala.
Evatala?
Or Evatala? I don't... Actually, it's...
Evatala.
Evatala? Okay.
Okay, Evatala. So that what I was trying to say would be, if Evatala would be fine, we would like to purchase and commence. We have another respectable buyer here. If you'd oblige, and we'd like to bid and start.
Absolutely. Board happened to have a open and fair auction.
Now, as a matter of courtly procedure, it is not entirely unheard of for somebody to bid against their own king if their intention is to then present the item as a gift to the king. This is sort of a way that noble houses can sort of do some showmanship and flash their money. It is also not uncommon that the nobles and members of King's Court will be wealthier than the king because that's how they got there. That by being super rich, they managed to sort of buy their way into court. That is not the case here. I believe that this king is sitting on like a hoard of gold he got from hunting monsters. So this guy still might be trying to buy some influence, basically. Buy the king a gift. But this king can definitely outbid him. All right. So let's start with basically what everyone's intention is in this. Now, obviously, Talus' intention is to get out of this with as much money as possible. And for that, you've got 3 extra dice for whatever you're going to roll. So now it comes down to the king and the Reginald. Reginald, what is your intention? What is it you're trying to get out of this situation?
I have attempted to purchase this item to be able to have my clansmen to be able to inspect it and make sure it's in the most pristine quality as I can get it before gifting it to the king.
All right. King, what is the king's objective in this situation?
I feel like he's just very simple. Get it. Buy it. I don't need other people to present me with favor if I can just buy it myself.
Have shiny.
We're
Get
showing
shiny.
Told about shiny, want shiny.
So either way, you're going to get it. But yeah, if you buy it yourself, then you're demonstrating to your court that you are the king and you're in charge and you can take care of shit.
Oh, he likes competition, but he's prideful.
Yeah.
He likes winning more than competition, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can empathize.
Isn't that what it's for? Competition is so that I win.
All right, so essentially the two of you are going to be making competing trade rolls against each other here. You're both playing NPCs, so these rolls are going to be fairly fairly basic. Did we give the king and Reginald some stats when we put them together?
I did not get any stats for Reginald.
Yeah, I don't think we had anything.
So Reginald is certainly a let's do things to sort of 3 levels here. There's like basic, there's average, and there's exceptional. Will we say that Reginald's skill with trade is basic, average, or exceptional?
I would say exceptional. He's like the leader of his clan.
Okay. Would we say that there is something he does within his clan that is better than what he does with trade? Is there a skill he's more skilled at? Or is trade absolutely what he is best at and he's kind of low tier with everything else?
I'd say he was very prideful of his fashioning of his pipes. He handcrafts every single one of them. He smokes them in public to show off their craftsmanship.
Okay. So I think you're going to be rolling 5 dice. Troy, same question. Is trade basic, average, or exceptional for this king?
Like, I want it to be terrible. But I'm trying to think of how he would get where he is. So I feel like it'd have to be at least average.
Okay. Average generally means that there's probably some things that he does better and some things that he does worse than trade. How much of what he does in his daily routine is better than his trade? Like, how many of his talents would you say are more critical? In fact, let's break it down. Would you say his martial ability is better than his trade ability?
That's like asking if like a guy who's like in his 40s is good at football because he was good at football when he was in high school.
Good thing, right? He'd be good at combat and leadership, and then combat would have waned, but that's not really how it works. But the idea would be his combat would have waned and he would have spent more time, but he's still leadership. But then trade could have been growing in that regard, and he stopped investing into combat.
Age may have applied some permanent tax to his combat, but it still has some points in it, is what you're saying. Okay, I feel like you're based on that, you're probably rolling 4 dice for your trade.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm just saying this guy gives major I peaked early vibes, and that's just the sense I get from this guy.
He was the quarterback.
All right, so let's have both of you put your little trade rolls down. Now, Evatala, you don't necessarily need to sell this axe to either of them if they don't offer you enough money. So, while their trade is going to determine which one of them wins, you get to roll your trade +3 and add that to the result of the winner to figure out how much money you get out of this situation. You'll also be adding, of course, because you're a player character, one of your aptitudes to this. So how are you going to try and work this for extra money? Wow. The king won that.
I did not expect that. I really thought that'd be even. But I am curious to see the price hike.
The way I'm imagining this is Evatala has gone into. She's never held an auction before, but she's observed an auction before, and she's doing her best impersonation of an auctioneer with the fast talking and just random gibberish that I cannot do. I have tried it, sadly, and cannot do it without stumbling over my words. But
that being the case, then I will permit you to swap trade for performance if you wish.
is that better?
Depends on your character sheet.
No, they're exactly the same. But sure, I will roll for force. And basically just trying to be as charming as possible in it.
All right, empathy plus performance. +3 because Dasco did some shenanigans to get this all set up.
So 3 + 1 is 4 + 3 is 7. Ooh.
All right. So in the end, the king purchases the axe for 5 quality worth of money. So add to your inventory a bag of money and set its quality to 5. This can be taxed to spend the money. This is large quantities of money. This isn't the petty change used to pay for a night at the inn. This is the sort of stuff you would use to like buy a magic weapon or bribe a political official, stuff like that.
Like it's like renown equivalent, or like resource equivalent.
It's like resource equivalent, yeah, level money, but it's single use. Whereas resource can replenish when you rest. This is some single use item. You can distribute it amongst your crew if you wish, although 5 is not going to distribute evenly. And I'll bet you Dasco has some opinions about how much of that he's owed.
And Dasco's getting a cut anyways from the king, right? Like a finder's fee, right?
Yeah, Dasco was getting a finder's fee. I forgot about that.
Yep. Gotta ask about that. Yep.
All right. So as the coins are counted and that crew shuffles off.
Question: is the money being like counted out by an assistant to the king? It's obviously not going to be the king himself, correct?
Correct. The king is going to order an underling to do it for.
Yeah. I'm going to flashback so that I have talked to this one Orly and have offered them a small percentage of the money in exchange for making a major accounting error in our favor.
All right, you're going to need to roll a persuasion check on
right.
this clerk because that's a big ask. If the clerk gets caught, it's their head.
All right, so persuasion plus anything?
Probably empathy if you're playing off their greed. Because anything else, and you would be trying to trick them into thinking that they actually owed you more than they do. Whereas this is straight up asking someone to lie. So you're empathy.
3 successes.
All right, let me invent a clerk real quick.
It'll make a really good play for the gesture to act out the death of this clerk.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This clerk is one of your characters. This is your castle. So Troy, you invent the clerk and roll their dice. What is this clerk's specifically? What we're looking for is the clerk's propriety, their knowledge that this is a bad idea and resistance to performing this bad idea.
Propriety, also known as the acting right stat.
Or at least acting how society thinks is right. And in this case, society is the king who'll cut your head off if you steal his money. So skimming from the king, probably a bad idea. On the other hand, money's money. It has many uses, particularly if you flee the kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, this kingdom just went through a bunch of crap. So, with the whole, obviously, with the whole reason everyone's here. So this person probably wouldn't be opposed to getting out and getting away. What is that? So propriety is...
Propriety is a character's knowledge of what is considered socially acceptable in the situation.
They acting right or not?
Right.
And the ability to use that to your advantage. Basically, that's what it's for.
This is why
Okay,
I love
so I would say
propriety,
he
because
already...
it's like... Go ahead.
That's
Sorry,
great.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I would say as an acting person, he has to know this stuff. Like he knows that it's, he is the money counter. He is the person who keeps track of these things. So he would know his place and like all that stuff and like the risks, but also that he would have incentive to, you know, abuse that knowledge. But I wouldn't put him at the top of propriety, but just under, I think.
I feel like it sounds like so he knows how to act right, but his character motivations, he's inclined less to do so.
All right, so if he has like high knowledge of how to act right, I'd say that's probably 5 pips, but I would say to do this at a reduced threshold. Penalize the threshold because there's an advantage to the proposal being offered.
Yeah, so that's where I was going. So what would that end up being? So that would be 5 dice.
5 dice,
and then a T.
Do threshold 7.
Yeah, you go up, right?
Right. So only a 7, 8, 9, and 10 will count as successes.
Yeah, I like that. Whew.
Well, it was a good attempt, but apparently this person values their life at a degree to which you would have to offer them so much that you wouldn't be making anything out of the exchange. Yeah, too pure.
I immediately offered them a job at my parents' place of business.
They may
That's just a
consider
solid
that.
good roll there.
Yeah, that's a killer roll. 10,9,9,7,4.
That's the rule of Lady Luck. Sometimes she smiles on you, and sometimes she does not.
I mean, in this scenario,
Unless
it's
you're
just
Theo.
the deal doesn't go through, right? So it's like you're still walking away with a decent resource.
Yeah.
And if he had this conversation with the king,
Yeah, if the test
that
fails,
wouldn't go good
I could-
for anybody.
I could abort the flashback.
Did I have a special rule about being able to cancel a flashback if a roll fails?
It says if the test fails, this flashback may be aborted with no negative narrative effects. Under the assumption that the beekeeper anticipated the failed outcome and the flashback was just a simulation in their head.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
There you
I
go.
was coming up with a narrative reason why it would be okay, but if it's just a simulation, then it's out.
I just saw how like super exact this clerk is. It's just like, actually, I wish I had hired you.
Well, you can still slip them a business card and never have had that conversation.
Yes. If you're ever at the Talus Libre, this will get you, or city. It's not a town, it's a city. This will get you around.
You know you're upper class when you can refer to like the trade capital of the West as a town that I visit.
Quite little village.
Alrighty, so Dasco, you get to approach the king, who's ready to give you your cut.
All right. I do so discreetly. I don't want to put him off, you know. I say, well, congratulations there, friend.
Thank you for the tip.
I shrug and say, well, you know, wish it had been mine, you know, but I'm not gonna bid against a king.
I mean, I would have welcomed the competition, but you would have lost sadly anyway.
I know when I'm gonna lose, you know. I know when I'm on the side of a losing fight. Just pick your battles, you know. You pick your battle. Don't want to come up against someone as shrewd as you, you know.
Is that not insulting?
No, actually,
It is extremely flattering.
Yeah, he's hitting all
Okay,
the
yeah.
high notes there.
He looks whimsical. I don't know what word to describe him at this moment.
I imagine he'd be like puff up his chest and be like, "Yeah, I'm awesome."
There you go. Yeah, he looks like he tries to make himself look like the combat points aren't missing.
Now I knew you were smart, but I also made a bet on you being an honest man. We made a deal. The deal was I keep the other investor, the one outside of your kingdom, out of the situation, which I did. And you give me just a little taste of what I could have had if I'd gotten that axe. Put my trust in you, great king.
This is true. I only had to bid against someone of my own court, and that wasn't a concern of mine. What is that rough value you were taking at in the beginning?
I mean, based on what Dave paid out, I think like just one value or whatever.
Oh, I was trying to get you more in my head. But,
I mean, you guys could do a contested roll to make it 2 instead of 1. You guys want to do that? Do a contested little trade roll to see if you can double the payment?
I mean, I can do a trade roll to see if I can double the payment. I mean, sure. You want to do a trade roll?
Yeah, do a little
Yeah.
trade roll.
All right, I'll go into full negotiation mode. Now, the way I see it, that axe is probably worth about 10,000, maybe 20,000 on the open market. If you take it to Thoradil, you can probably get about 50,000, up to 100,000 if you sell it right. Let me tell you. Now, when we talked about this, I said I only wanted about 10%, but I'm not going to take 10% of the 100,000 because that would be insane. That requires very, very good amount of trade. But let's do 10% of, let's say, a more modest fee, like maybe a 20,000 or 30,000. And I'm just going to just start babbling on about the trade value stuff. I'm using MasterCard.
All right, we remember what the king rolls for trade, and then Dasco. This very much sounds like cunning to me.
Did you say you're using MasterCard?
Correct.
Oh dear, well, I gotta open up that.
Oh dear.
Did you not hear me say full negotiation mode activated? Like a fucking robot?
I knew that the speech was coming. I just didn't know the dice were coming. Is what. Okay.
So I believe that roll was just devastated the king right there.
He just retreats from whatever he was trying to do, and just like, oh no, you brought. I am a man of my word. You brought me this. If anything, have this as well. And then he organizes you to get a little extra payment.
All right. I end my sentence with, so you see all these figures just add up and everything seems to be totally kosher if you just sign right there. And you do.
Yep.
Why do I feel like the king is someone in a foreign country just open up their wallet and goes, which of these monies do you take?
Yeah.
And Dasco's response is yes.
Oh, that's right. Trade is vocational. There we go. Ooh. Okay, so everybody leaves the castle. You're in the surrounding town. It is getting on towards evening. You can just head back on the road, but not getting sleep might kind of be rough on you guys. Whereas the inns are inviting, and you would replenish your tax. Quality 4 inns in this place. Actually, did you say this place was kind of run down?
I think the in-between point of a kingdom coming up, like kind of thing. So like, there should be a decent inn.
All right, we'll say 3 tax. You can recover 3 tax at the end. Also, any
Like, it's
additional
not the
tax
Ritz.
that you want to, you can move into your stamina, which is a standard thing when resting, even if you're not at an inn.
What was it with the last town or the last place they were at? Like they had an inn and a tavern, but that was it.
Yeah, last one had an inn across the street from a tavern. And you ended up committing murder in the one and blaming it on the owner of the other.
All right, so spend the night.
Presumably.
So what's in terms of the time frame? Like, how much time do we have?
We have a week, like 7 days.
Gotcha.
I say it's probably going to take the king, I don't know, a week or two before he gets a appraiser to come here and realize that he's got a useless, worthless axe. Oh, you mean like how long do we have before the heist?
Yes.
There's two more people to recruit, and one of them is in a township to the north.
Yeah. I think we could spend the night and then head to that township. Because the last one's going to be, we're going to recruit him literally all the place we need to be to come back to Celebre.
Yeah, and you're more than halfway to Gateway.
All right.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. So when you left the road to come to the castle, there were some mercenaries there meeting a squad of Knoll soldiers. They're no longer there when you get back. They've gone their separate ways, and the road is mostly empty. Proceeding north for a bit, you're starting to come up on the area where you're going to need to get off the road, but there isn't a super nice like path, like a well-worn road for where you're about to go. You're going to be going down into like this sort of swampy, marshy area. Not a big one, but it's kind of rough going. And you're probably going to have to literally climb down off the road, which has been raised up above the marsh. Not for any reason other than just that the marsh is kind of a lowland and the road goes in a straight line, deviating for nothing and no one. You believe that if there had been a mountain in a way, there would just be a vertical slot carved in the mountain for this road to go through. Such is the precision of the dwarves who built it. However, there is a notable structure in the distance that you see as you approach where you expected to step off the road. And that is a wizard's tower, recognizable by the large sort of crystalline thing up on the top of it that glows softly even in the daylight. No one's completely sure why all the wizards started strapping these things to the top of their towers, but it seems to be the fashion at the moment, and so they are doing it. But this one has a lot of additional apparatus wrapped around it. Lots of little sort of pipes and wires and things coming down off of it to a box that is next to a series of 3 tents that have been set up in front of the tower. Coming the other direction, someone with a cart, accompanied by a couple of children, stops at the tower just ahead of you as you approach and begins unloading things from the cart into the box next to the tower, and then presents a small number of what look like magic rods to the 3 tents that are set up in front of it. They then sit down and begin to just have a little snack on the road, because the road has really comfortable resting spots. But you approach them first, and then the tower is just ahead. Or you can just pass by them. They're basically just having lunch with their kids before taking their wheelbarrow back. If you just walk by them, that's okay. You come upon the tower, which has its 3 tents set up. Looking through the tents, there's definitely something magical going on, as the entrances to the tents reveal rooms that are much larger than the size of the tents themselves. And in each of the 3, there appears to be some kind of a workbench and someone working at it. There's 2 humans and an elf, each with their own workbench, their own tents, and apparently their own places. Yeah. You're not even sure it's the same time of day in one of the tents as it is in the other 2. Or where you currently are right now. Let's see. Evatala, you recognize the view through one of the tents. You've seen... So in the background through the tent, there is a window that overlooks what is clearly to your eyes the skyline of Celebre, and you recognize the view of that skyline is the view as seen through the new Mage Academy. The Celebran Wizarding School has a lot of high towers and windows, and that's what the city looks like out of them. The people are... The 3 people on the workbenches have started working on these rods. They do appear to have a small testing area in front of the tents that is covered in a strange white mush.
If no one does, I'm going to display an uncharacteristic amount of curiosity and peek over.
There is a very pleasant odor coming from the mush. It smells like food.
I investigate the mush.
Yeah, it's down in the dirt, but it smells like food. It seems like it might be mashed potatoes, just like mashed potatoes have been spread across the ground in front of these tents. One of the workers. At first you think that they see you, but it turns out they're calling over to somebody else in one of the tents. You're not sure exactly what they're talking about. It's a little bit of technobabble, some sort of magical stuff. But then the elf gets up, pricks her finger on a little glass vial, so some of her blood goes into the vial, and hands it to, like, gets up out of her tent, walks over to the other tent, hands it to the guy who thanks her, pours it onto the rod that he's casting spells onto, and it seems to fix something that was broken. Some kind of crack in the rod seems to be repairing itself.
Are these like nanites?
No. But elf blood is a magical reagent.
Got it.
But they seem to be doing repair work on magic rods. They're also just kind of sitting there, like you could talk to them if you wanted to.
Hell, that's pretty fancy.
Doing what we can for the relief effort.
Do I know what the relief effort is for?
Probably not.
Do I know what the relief effort is for?
Probably not.
Oh, relief effort, huh? It's some kind of... what's going on?
You must have come from the south. Yeah, you notice one of the moons is missing.
Hard not to, but...
Well, apparently some kind of magic got the people out from the city, and they're sitting over just to the north and east of here. I'm sorry, north and west of here, and they need food. So here we are, fixing up rods of create food and water.
Do you usually create the food in the dirt?
No, but these are broken rods. We're doing repair work. The working rods are over there recharging, and he points to the box that's got all the wires running up to the top of the Wizard's Tower where the glowing crystal is.
Used to have a quartermaster that used to always prepare the food in the dark. It's better that way.
Oh yeah, Dasco would recognize actually what's going on right away, I'm sure. Did you want to do anything with these guys?
I'm looking around at how much of a rush we're in, and I don't see a lot of profit in mashed potatoes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could scam them on principle, but like we're in a hurry. So.
Scalable principle.
Yeah, these seem to be basic. Like they're not the like fancy ones. These are like really basic thrown together rods of.
These are like
rods of
MRE rods.
Yeah, they're MRE rods that were thrown together such that non-magical personnel would be able to use them pretty effectively. It's been a while since you've been in Celebre, but those who have been in Celebre would probably recognize the sort of symbol of the new guild of applied thaumaturgy, which has been working to make magic more accessible to non-magical people. A lot of that means that it's really toned down magic.
Makes sense. Rorik only comments that she wishes such a thing existed when she was a refugee.
Yeah, I mean, these new technologies would definitely have been helpful had they been invented a long time ago, but here we are now, dealing with the situation.
I give an experience point today for world building. In that case, I guess we move along. Yeah. Or do I need to use a leadership role?
Everyone's so quiet. But that's okay. Yeah, so if it's time to move along, then you guys actually need to go off the road. So the dwarves did anticipate this, there is a little stairway down the side. Looks more like it's for servicing the road than anything else, but not that you can see any way this road would ever need to be serviced. But coming down off the side of the road and into the swamp, you begin heading towards a kind of a hideout for necromancy. A lot of wizarding activity tends to happen around Bone Pillar. It's a big place, but necromancy is not always looked upon as friendly, and so a lot of necromancers pull out of there to hang out in other locales, and this is one such place. Tice, could you describe what the town looks like that they're approaching?
So it's you would say it normally would be like, okay, you get start over again. It looks like from the farther distance, it looks like a bit of a small town, but when you get closer to it, you notice that it might be a small town, but like a lot of the stuff is ornate because it's one of the cities where like the rich that want to stay rich without having to pay taxes or anything decide to go move into so that they can continue with the work and stuff, such as like necromancers and a few other things that we frowned upon in regular big cities.
Now, I believe there was a specific guy that you guys were coming here to recruit, right?
Charles Bromstone.
It's of course Charles Brownstone.
Is there any kind of like general meeting place that they might be obvious for them to go to, Tess?
Oh yes. Towards the outskirts, there is a very expensive and established looking tavern. Some of the shadier people will see like a symbol for like slang for like, it's like, come in here if you're not here for if you're here for a good time but not a lawful time.
Come here if you're looking for a kick time.
If Avatala knows it can read that, Avatala is very quickly ushering the entire party there. And is not looking if you follow her as she continues to just head to this high quality crime tavern or something.
I'm trying to think if there's any kind of real world place that's analogous to this, but I really can't think of one. Maybe some town that was like very well infiltrated by bootleggers during Prohibition is the only thing I can think of.
To be fair, necromancy isn't really a real world thing you can call to.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like what kind of city would have like, it's like Tortuga, but for necromancers.
I would say any city that was embracing real scientific inquiry during the Renaissance periods where religion was dominant, or like pre-Renaissance, like Middle Ages, Dark Ages, pre-Enlightenment, yeah. Those small groups of learned
So in
men.
Muslim-dominated Spain is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So is this in Bone Pillar or near Bone Pillar?
No, this is pretty far west and a bit to the south of Bone Pillar.
Okay. Bone Pillar does have enclaves of safety from magic. Bone Pillar accidentally became because when the registry really got going, there were the mages that complied, and then there were the mages that hid, and then there were mages that went to Bone Pillar and said, "Screw that noise," basically.
These are the mages that didn't feel like they were really welcome in Bone Pillar, and so they're kind of hiding, but kind of not hiding. I mean, part of being a mage is being able to flaunt that you're a mage, right? Like, otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, so as you enter, there's you see a tall gentleman polishing glasses at the bar wall. While you see along the sides, where normally there'd be an open sort of bar area, there's just like there's several hallways, and they all have like black doors that are closed always. Some of them have like an ace of spades in front of them, and a few other kind of cards. And some of them are blank. And like look up. And he'll say a line that's seems harmless, but has an underlining meaning to it. It's like asking, are you here just for a drink, or are you here for talent?
I'm here for a good time.
I'm looking for Charles Bromstone.
Oh yes, that too.
Now, because you've got a challenge to complete for Charles Tice, you probably shouldn't make him too hard to find. Just let the party find him pretty easily, but then present the challenge, which I believe was to rescue the butler.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He'll notion to just a little jar with coins, and they seem to have a little bit of iron on them. Like it's like a rusted sort of look on them. He points to before it's like a payment before I give you the card.
Don't worry, you're not spending government official bribing level money on this.
And you can tell that just from a quick look at it that it's actually just a coin with some blood on it. Coins with blood on them.
If you'd like to bleed onto a coin, just tax your health by 1 and put a coin in.
I pull out a coin and gesture for Rabbi to hold out his arm.
You didn't hear me laughing because I talk with trust.
Remy, this one's all you.
I'm trying to think what else I can tax besides my health. I'm probably end up taxing like 10 different things to avoid taxing 1 health.
I mean, if you make a real big fuss about it, Roar will.
I'm joking. I'll just fucking do it. But under protest.
It will only hurt a bit as I take out, like.
Oh, you're not doing this. No, you're gonna pull out like the biggest fucking weapon you have. Like,
all I have is a wrench now. You sold my battle axe.
Yeah.
I should drop blood. Oh my god!
I don't want to wrench to make you bleed. Rourke. I have a knife. I can just cut myself. I can just prick my finger. I'll prick my own finger and give the guy a coin.
He'll from his he'll pull out a drawer and you'll see like several knives and a deck of cards, and he'll just pull up the deck and just go skimming through it, and he'll pull out and he'll give you the ace of clubs, and he'll say, "Oh, but it's on the third door to the left down that hall."
Thank you. Make me bleed with a fucking wrench.
Be sure you play the ace and not the king.
I guess we'll go down the hallway.
And yeah, you'll see the same card on the door. I'm assuming you'll knock, or
Yeah, I'll knock on the door.
the door will open as a taller gentleman looks at you, and he steps backwards as you see a gnome. As you see a gnome standing behind it, standing off to the side, just brushing his hands as the gentleman just collapses, bleeding out. Oh, sorry, I was just in the middle of something. Sorry for the mess. What can I help you with? He'll look at his pocket watch for a second. Huh, interesting. Okay, now I got you got my interest in. What would you like?
We're looking for Charles Bromstone.
Ah, you're looking at him. All 4 feet of him.
I guess we'll go inside and close the door, and I'll step over the body and puddle of blood.
That would have been useful earlier.
Right?
Yeah, he'll just like knock it off the thing and just like have the sit back down with like there's like he'll like knock on the side and as the thing pops down and like several elven glasses rise up with a bottle of something and you'll just pour a couple glasses. Take one. Help yourself. What can I do on this fine day?
Well, we've heard you've had some special skills, and we're here to hire you on the basis of those skills for a job.
Let's see. Exactly. What exactly have you heard about my skills? And how would they help this little job of yours? I don't see not many people need a particular skill of mine. I say myself, I say it's one of the best skills I know of.
Let's say every now and then things might get messy, and then we have to undo some consequences of that messiness. And, well, let's be frank here. We're going to be intending on acquiring a large amount of money, and sometimes we need information about where that money comes from. And we aren't necessarily known for handling everything with tact.
I see you accidentally stabbed the wrong person and you realize that person was the one that had the code.
Perhaps that could happen. It hasn't happened yet, but we're planning ahead. We're really good at planning and then not executing. But I promise that this job will actually be executed. The final job gets executed.
I mean, if you fail, you'll all be executed.
One of two ways.
Well, I currently have a little bit of a problem myself before I can, let's say, on this little job of yours. You see, my fellow colleague over here came upon some property of mine. Well, not him exactly. Someone that he works for, because he wished to learn a bit more about my secrets and stuff. See, my butler has been taken, but this fine gentleman here told me exactly where to find him. I just do, but the only thing is, I do not have the right tools, as well as I'm not the best at breaking into places.
That's never stopped me before. But, we could probably take care of that for you.
You don't just want to come with us now and get enough money that you can get 30 butlers.
Does bring up a valid point.
The thing about butlers is they're the ones that usually tend to be closest to you, so they know the most information. So if I just left him with them, they might just find out all the information they know.
He also brings up a valid point.
So I can't leave any loose ends in town, else I might not come back to the town as welcoming anymore.
Where is this acclaimed assistant of yours.
There's a fellow by the name of Eugene who owns a little gambling den up in the north side of town. That's the last time that Buddy here saw him. He went into the casino and he never left.
Butler with a gambling habit, dangerous.
No, gambling is a disease.
Are you sure you want this butler back? I'm sure we can find a good one. Like, Remy here makes a great one.
But I said before, a good even though he has his bad habits, a good butler knows all my secrets. So if they were able to extract the information from him, then I need to know what they know.
I mean, it just seems like bad business to tell anybody all your secrets. I don't even know all my secrets.
It might be a pertinent question as to whether or not he needs the butler to be alive.
Ask. So do we need the butler to come out of this alive, or you just need the butler silenced?
Rorik is standing tall like a shadow in the corner and mumbles, "They must have been close."
I need to make sure that they haven't sent me secrets. That's all I need to do.
Well, we could do this on a few conditions. First condition is that you would, in exchange, join us, in exchange for a fair split of the score. And the second condition is that you're going to have to teach me a little bit of your craft on the way.
I mean, you can speak to dead people, right? So we can ask him after the fact.
I was gonna say, your butler can still serve you even if he's not alive anymore, right?
Yeah. Oh,
That brings up a very interesting question. Like, what's the statute of limitations on getting information from dead people? Like, if they're super, super dead, like super, super, super dead, like, how reasonable is it that you could, like, talk to them? Like, let's say you're talking like 5,000-year-old mummy kind of shit.
Canonically, there was, up until recently, a 5,000-year-old mummy attempting to conquer the West.
That's correct. He was pretty lucid. In the East, though, the spirit speakers, there is a limit. But it has to do with, basically, once your body starts just being the earth again, they stop being able to talk to you. And you stop caring about talking back.
A lot
So
of
the answer, so the limitation is you're thoroughly decomposed. But what about skeletons? Because those are made of calcium, and those don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like
The spirit speaker's knees actually need a corpse. They need a corpse.
like with,
Like a
with
relatively
like
common.
like besides
Burning. They can speak to ash and stuff like that, but they need it has to be relatively recent if they don't have a corpse.
those are kinetics. They're just wielding raw kinetic negative energy. Necromancers are tapping into multiple planes, so they can potentially reach spirits that have been dead for a really long time.
Yeah, that's true. At that point, they're petitioners, and whether or not they give a shit and or want to communicate with you, and depending on what plane they're on, whether or not they are natively incentivized to tell you the truth, is all very strange.
So it's more a matter of like negotiation then.
There's that, and also spell level. So if they're like, if the spirit has something it's still attached to, it's probably going to be easy to get it with a low level spell.
Right, but if you've moved up and like you're a spirit chilling out in the spirit world, you're like, I don't give a flying fuck about earthly matters anymore because I've been dead for a really long time.
If it's somebody who's just like out in Elysium, just tending their field in total bliss, then yeah, you're going to need a high level spell to get to them at all, and they are unlikely to give a shit.
Thank you for answering my really specific question because I was like, this has to have some kind of reasonable limitations. Like, you can't just pick up a bone and be like, hey.
And Planescape goes over a lot of limitations like that pretty well. Planescape, that place that's known for putting reasonable rules on how reality works.
Planescape is a place where, like, the idea of limitations, though, has to encompass infinity within its boundaries several times, arguably an infinite number of times. So, yeah, it's a good model for this sort of example. Anyway, Butler Rescue.
Yeah, I guess.
So who has your manservant?
It seems like from some of the hints I've got before, possibly a rival necromancer. Of course, the head of the one that actually runs the gambling casino.
Rourke straightens up, cracks the knuckles, just like, okay, sounds like we got a place to go.
And you said his name was Eugene, correct?
Yes.
Is there a reason why some rival has your manservant?
Well, to get my secrets, of course.
And you guys got any bad blood, or is this more of a professional rivalry?
Well, in a town as lavishly as like this, there's always someone that wishes to enforce different laws. And it's a lot easier when there's no one to oppose your laws.
So this is political?
And that shouldn't be surprising. The Mage Registry has a lot of influence in the regions around High Fort, and this is definitely a region around High Fort. So if somebody was trying to keep the necromancers from ruffling feathers, that effort itself might be seen as treasonous amongst other necromancers, whereas, yeah, some others might say it's quite reasonable to try not pissing off the guys who have all the rifles that can shoot your head off.
Very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Do y'all do a thriving business here? I'm struggling to see the business use case for it. Like, do you get a lot of clientele at a necromancer run casinos?
I'd be more interested in what they.
I guess mage types.
Everyone loves a good casino.
I mean,
Yeah, you'd be surprised what people will gamble away.
the brothel clearly didn't care what kind of coin you put in the cup. All it cared about was that it had blood on it.
Well, we get to this casino, and we can get your butler back in some amount of pieces. Do you want us to take out Eugene while we're there? Because that sounds like it could be fun.
Though I dislike the guy, I wouldn't want to. If I start just taking up people myself, then or getting anyone influenced by me to take them up, then it will cause a vacuum, which might have more people looking here because once I get my yeah, we'll just he'll have learned his lesson. I think you can shake it a little bit up, but yeah.
All right. And I assure you, if any of the casino funds go missing in the next 24 hours or however long days are in this world. Nothing to do with us. Just pure coincidence.
All right then. Well, he'll like he'll fit. He'll like he'll just pull. He'll just like lift a drink and just like. I guess we'll just have to toast then to this new momentarily union and my butler back for helping you with this little this little trip you're doing out.
Yeah. Your butler back and more money than you could even dream of. And with that, Avatar is going to just do a mic drop walkout move.
So do you know where in the casino your butler is being held?
I never got. I didn't. The visions didn't go. The last visions that I saw were him going into it from this guy's point of view. That's the last I saw of him.
Awesome. All right.
Now, at this point, the party might decide that they want to do some scouting by going in and pretending to be clients, or they might decide to kick down a door because, you never know what people like this will decide to do. So it's a good idea to kind of be ready for either situation, but let's hear what their plan is first, and then we'll work out exactly what's in the casino after they describe how they're going to engage with it. There's no point, after all, in planning an elaborate James Bond scene if what we're actually going to get is a Call of Duty scene.
I don't know if we really have a lot of muscle for the duty scene.
I was gonna say because it ends up
Do you
with
say that?
the whole
not?
party dead and the one person carrying us all. That's why not both.
Somebody say that they don't have enough muscle out loud, or is this meta
I
discussion?
was just saying that, but yeah.
May I remind you that I'm huge.
We don't have a lot of muscle, but we have the muscle. And also spirit.
Another thing that you might want to do is you might want
But
to
also,
not go in right away, but wait a bit so that you have some opportunities to do flashbacks to prepare.
I mean, also necromancy gambling sounds incredible. And Avatala at least wants to partake.
This is just normal gambling, right? There just happens to be necromancers there. Is that correct, Charles?
I've heard that you can let some people gamble their life away.
Okay, so the currency is more negotiable.
From a
The
meta perspective,
currency.
it makes sense that currencies would be a little bit flexible for necromancers because they don't really have a need for normal currency as much, since the basic necessities of food and whatever is not always going to apply to them. But gold is gold. It's always got some use. So you imagine your money is useful there.
Is it the casino owner that has the butler?
Okay, and why did you get your butler got stolen, kidnapped because they know all your secrets, and they want necromancer secrets? Is that correct?
So you guys coming from Celebre are probably used to scholars that always are sharing information. They're publishing their spells and stuff. But out in the sticks, magical knowledge is definitely considered proprietary. Everybody likes to keep their secrets. They encrypt their spell books. They do everything they can to not let the other mages get a leg up on them. It's one of the big cultural distinctions between Aenar and Celebre, the way they handle magic, and pretty much everywhere else on the planet.
Oh, I'm looking at character sheets, trying to come up with a plan. I think I'm getting there. I'm thinking, Avatar, you can go in and gamble. You can be rich and semi-magical, which I think you are, so you don't have to do anything crazy. You have your bodyguard Rorik, and Charles can play as your butler. And hopefully Charles gets kidnapped and put somewhere near the other butler and can be our inside person as we work and we kind of meet in the middle. I have no idea how well that would really go. It's probably a horrible idea.
I think Charles will probably be recognized.
I mean Barnabas, not
Oh,
Charles.
okay, Barnabas, yeah.
Barnabas would be the pretending to be the butler.
Wait,
So
but
the
don't they
part
already have the butler?
You'd be Evitalia's butler.
Oh, got it.
The idea
part-
would be that you would get taken for the same reason that Charles Bromstone's butler got taken.
the part of this plan I like is where I get to go in and gamble. The rest of it you all can figure out.
You also could be the butler yourself, Remy, and hold Barnabas back as a wild card, because there's a lot of other ways to use Barnabas's disguise abilities. Potentially infiltrating as a member of the staff, or other things as well. And you don't have to reveal right now what your plan is. You can always flashback to reveal what you were really planning all along. So, presuming you guys wait until about midnight before approaching, since that's when things are at their liveliest in this town.
Perhaps for Barnabas, we could try and make Barnabas a more juicy target, I guess. Is one of our plans that we want to try and get back there with the butler, so like perhaps Barnabas could be, I don't know, some sort of juicy target that this casino owner would actually want to take to the back or wherever they have the butler. I don't know what'll happen from there once I'm back there, but I can at least find the position.
And you are a master of disguise and lying. Do you want to create a character or personality to disguise yourself as and spread rumors about town about before going in?
Yeah, so I mean, I figure this casino owner is interested in necromancer secrets, so just basically spread rumors about like a super powerful necromancer that's going to be coming to town and has a penchant for gambling, and who knows, might stop by and play some hands.
Now, would this be you, or are you prepping this disguise for Evitala, who actually does have some magical ability?
I can
I have
use it
a-
on someone else. Sorry, what'd you say? Oh, never mind. I thought someone said something. I didn't know I could use that on someone else. Sorry, I might have misread my flashback power. But yeah,
your flashback power is for using on yourself. But this, you guys haven't gone in yet, so you could just use regular die rolls and actions to prep stuff for other people.
I got it.
So yeah, if you wanna just help Evitala dress up as a vampire or a necromancer or whatever it is you want to do, you can prep that right now before you go in. Once you go in, then yeah, there'll be some some restrictions to how you can use the flashback powers.
Now that you've planted the idea in her head, Avatar is going to do that regardless if you help or not.
Sweet. All right, yeah, I'll definitely help out.
I've also, and while we're prepping, we need all the small little trinkets we can get that are of no value, and we just need to start rolling them in that blood puddle that's on the ground in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're rich.
Pre-blooding our money.
I don't want to have to cut myself many more times.
I was going to say, it's really fortunate that we have this blood puddle right here, because I was currently calculating how many blood coins we had in total of the party, just to see how high stakes I could get it.
It doesn't need to be coins either. It can, I don't care. Just things that we don't care about.
I imagine that Dasco has a lot of useless trinkets on his person.
That's what I was hoping.
I don't care about anything.
Can we say that Avatala, being a kleptomaniac, has just swiped a couple of useless stuff from, like, different inns that we've stayed at? Like how at a hotel you might steal this,
A collection of robes.
Yes.
Miniature soaps.
All right, so
a whole stack of like empty shampoo bottles, that little shampoo bottles that we can refill with blood, like that sort of thing.
So you may be very interested to see that in the crime section of talents, there's one called Plunder that basically is that. But yes, you can make a roll if you want to just try and steal some stuff right now. You can, yeah. If you're rolling to steal stuff from a player, it's probably going to be a contested roll.
No, I have not said for a player, like just like things I find sitting on counters or whatever.
Yeah, plunder, pickpocket, like the crime list is just kind of awesome. Where's the one? Ed, there was one that was like, if you find out that you needed something that was in a previous scene, you can just say that of course you would have stolen it.
Yeah, that's in the plunder line.
Isn't that how Riker got his sword?
Yes, that is how Riker got his sword. Yeah, treasure hunter. When using plunder, you may spend an additional investigation to guarantee that you get everything valuable at the scene, even hidden items. Oh, wait, that's not it.
No, yeah, it's a different one.
That's a good skill, though.
That's the reason we got the friggin' weird ass.
Oh, here it is.
So many weird things.
Leave nothing behind. If you use plunder to take items from a scene and later find out you missed some important item, then you may spend one investigation and one crime to explain why you totally would have taken that.
Wait, isn't that also how he got the gnomish thing? The gnomish.
Probably. If you have leave nothing behind, it's not like you don't use it often. Like, it's a useful thing. Like, you use it all the time.
You use plunder all the time just in case.
That's how you have almost everything. If you have.
Fair enough. I'm just saying the things that Riker has are like stupid.
Yeah, I feel like you use treasure hunter like all the time.
Yeah, I used to. I keep forgetting to do it again. If Riker used treasure hunter in the past, man, that would be cool. And also a giant like figure it out, guys. Make it make sense.
So what's the importance of Avatala having magical abilities going in here?
I could convincingly fake it.
Yeah, a non-wizard trying to fake being a necromancer is going to have some issues. You're at that point, you're basically trying to be a ventriloquist with like puppets. But
Okay, cool.
Evatala could legitimately animate something.
Excellent.
Animate something, do some illusions that look sort of necromancy.
Or even just put up a display of magical power that people who can sense magic would say, oh, that person has magic flowing around them. And quite fortunately for you guys, Evatala chose to go down the improvisation route for magic.
And then anyone can gamble at this establishment, correct? You don't have to be a necromancer. Is that
Yes, but
anyone
we're trying
can.
to make Avatala look like a juicy target.
Oh, totally. Well, what I was getting at is instead of Avatar going in like by themselves or just with one other person, we could just why not ever have everyone go in kind of in separate groups or whatever. And then we're just like we're all in there just in case shit goes down and we can like do separate things, I guess, as needed to support.
And obviously Charles's butler went in there, so clearly it's not exclusive to necromancers. So yeah, that should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yeah, cool. Well, I can either join Evatala or maybe if we want Rorik to do that, maybe that's a better option since they're like stronger.
Just in case they tried to kidnap Avatala.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
And then the rest of us can kind of split off and like go in as just like we're just observing and ready to like do other shady things. I'm not sure what those shady things might be. I suppose we can find out when we get in there.
Rorik muses quietly if she'll have to dress up like a butler.
Or a zombie.
Or both.
Zombie butler. I feel like they would know if I was dead or not. Like, I would be like, even if you put a bunch of makeup on me, I've got a pulse and I'm warm,
Such a disguise would definitely require Evatala to make some magical rolls.
Yeah.
So we currently need someone to make Vital look more like a necromancer, and also we need someone to spread misinformation around the city. So that sounds about right.
I think Barnabas is on that. Daska's acquiring non-valuable trinkets that we are coating in blood, so we can gamble.
Gotta gamble in blood-coated blood money. Crazy.
Avatala is going to shop for the most expensive evil vampire lady-looking dress she can find.
So you're gonna look like Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil 8 Village. Got it.
Yes. Except no, that would have to be you. You would have to dress up like that.
Oh no.
What did those Create Food and Water wands look like?
The what? The what?
The Create Food and Water wands. What do they look like? Were they ornate or?
No, they're like, because these were put together by the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild, so they look very simple, practical. They didn't bother doing a lot of fanciness to them.
Home Depot wand. Got it.
Yeah, basically.
I'm gonna go stroll around the market and just see if I can get some dowels that roughly look correct. Put them in a nice looking box and start drafting up some Applied Thaumaturgy symbology on it.
Okay.
The amount of energy that Dasko expends on various schemes is so funny to me.
Quick question about the flashback power, Dave.
Yes.
For everyone that I trigger it on, does that count? I have to tax it one time for each person, or is it like one time per narration if I put multiple people into motion?
So if you're using multiple abilities, then you have to tax it once for each ability. But if you're using one person's ability that just happens to have other people in the scene, then that would only be taxing once.
Okay, so every person's flashback that I'm activating would
Yeah.
require. Okay.
Yeah, so you can't create an infinite stack. I did want there to be some limit on how high you can stack
Gotcha.
that, but the more points you put into having having that potential, the crazier that can get. Also, you can trigger in other people's flashbacks. So it could be that somebody else triggers their flashback, and then you trigger flashback in that flashback, and that would be them taxing once and then you taxing once.
Yeah. So Dasco, I also need you to get some interrogation tools, like a travel set of interrogation tools. And Barnabas, you'll just carry that just in case.
I look over at Jackie's character, and I look back at you, and I look back at Jackie's character and say, I mean, she's like a travel interrogation tool.
No. She could be used for other things.
It's like hammers and knives, and you want it to look fancy.
Dental tools, you know.
But something small and discreet that you could walk in and be unnoticed with. But if you need to whip them out to show like you were legit, then you could.
Small and discreet, but flashy and terrifying. Got it.
Dental tools.
And to be clear, you don't have to spend a point on this because this is not a flashback. This is something he's doing now in the present. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a look for that as well when I'm in the market.
I've got to create flashback potential.
You're setting all the pieces on the chessboard where you want them to for that power move, right?
In case we need it.
I can't wait for this to become a part of my inventory.
You're gonna have it before we go into the casino.
Excellent.
I'm just going to go out on the market. I don't imagine any of this stuff's super difficult to find.
Yeah, especially in this town. Like, sharp knives are kind of the normal thing that people have. In addition to there being some market vendors on the streets that have them, there is a well-established sharp knives emporium shop.
Yeah, if you're like in a necromancy town, I imagine they would have all sorts of implements for disassembling and reassembling bodies.
Yeah, because their idea of a knife is more like a scalpel. They're looking for those small, precise cuts. They need to be able to separate tendon from bone very gently. You also find an amazing array of forceps. I don't know that will be relevant, but it's something that's there.
Okay, I get an assortment, and then a little leather case, or just take a piece of leather or something, and then I just kind of make a little roll-up case with the tools.
Okay, make a resource roll and add any successes to the quality. Base quality is 2 if you get no successes.
I'm just going to go ahead and master partner as well.
Also, there is a regional cap on quality 5. They don't have quality 6 plus stuff here. Quality 5. Good grief. How is that your resource check? That's crazy.
Because master partner lets me add my trade.
Yeah, it does. That's a good talent.
It is. It's for my role anyway. I mean, it's not an amazing talent most of the time. It's not going to get us through a fight.
So you bring back a really nice set. Like Q5, that's high tier.
Can I find a box of wooden dowels as well?
Yes.
Has the applied thaumaturgy guys been through here?
Not on purpose.
Can I find any like empty boxes that have their logo on them, or am I gonna have to forge this?
You'll have to forge it.
Okay, I'll sit down with some ink and whatever and just try and stamp it on.
If you would like to have one of the actual rods, you could flashback to get one. But if the whole point of this is that it's not real, then yeah, you're on the right track.
You know what? I'm going to flashback to pick up one of the empty boxes. I just want the air of legitimacy. I don't want an actual thing.
Okay, so you flash back to when
We were having the conversation and with the guys.
Before that, though, there was a guy who had the wheelbarrow that stopped to have lunch with his kids. He was like a volunteer worker for the refugee project.
Oh yeah, and so if he had any empty boxes with the Applied Thaumaturgy logo on it, I was just taking one off his hands.
Yeah, because he had just
Need of
emptied
a
them
box.
into the recharger. He does need he needs most of them for the trip back because he's got to take them off the recharger before he goes back. But
Gotcha.
you're able to buy one off of him.
All right. I'm gonna put all of the dowels that I've into the box, and then I'm gonna stamp a warning label onto the box. I'm gonna put it under my arm, carry the leather torture kit in the other hand, and happily walk back from the market.
Alrighty. Unseen and unbeknownst to you, the money that you gave him for the box, he then uses to buy some basically toys and things for the kids. Distributing those brings hope and joy to the children, some of whom grew up to be great heroes. As a direct result of your giving money to a refugee worker.
That's good. Society of rich and happy people needs more people to scam.
True lessons we take from this.
You're just seeding the ground for future people to scam.
Earning money is hard. Let other people do that.
Alrighty, so Dasco returns with the things you've ordered and some stuff for himself that he begins working on.
Are we like in an inn or something?
I think you're at the private room that Charles has reserved for himself at the brothel.
Okay, I need something. I need somewhere public.
Go out to the brothel's lobby, right?
Yeah. So I come into the lobby and I discreetly hand you the torture tools and I just say, "This is what you asked for." And then I take the box and I very carefully sit it down on a table and I say, "Whoa, careful there. That's dangerous stuff." And the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild.
Listen, if this brothel has a library, I'm very interested. I know you said lobby, but I would have liked it if there was a brothel library. Just wall to wall Kama Sutra.
Necrosutra. I don't know, Tice, how is this brothel's supply of reading material?
I really want there to be a necrosutra. Yeah, they need to understand every part of the body, especially if at the end of it it ends with mortality, with the death.
That's true. There's probably some pretty
so
good.
hard you die.
There's probably some pretty good medical journals about anatomy, or that would make sense. Alrighty, Dasco, were you crafting anything of particular, or are you just going to run the scam with the box?
I stamped a warning label on it. I've just got it as a valuable thing. I was told to get valuable things, so I got a bunch of currently discharged but rechargeable wands of explosion. They fell off the back of a truck somewhere. Just kind of looking to get rid of them. I know there's a bunch of wizards around here that might be interested. They're Applied Thaumaturgy crap, so they're probably not going to work for very long, but they should be relatively straightforward to recharge, and they're not going to radiate magic, of course, because they're discharged.
Alrighty,
It's a bona fide, legitimate Applied Thaumaturgy box.
It is. The box is 100% legitimate. Alrighty. Chris, are you ready to run your op? Or do you need more material and prep time?
I think we're probably ready. So Evitalia's going in with Rorik as a bodyguard.
And my job is to look menacing and scary.
You're protecting Evitalia because you don't want Evitalia's secrets to get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna just go in and drink and gamble on my own, and Barnabas can go in and gamble, and you have your newly acquired tool set in case we need it, Barnabas.
Excellent.
And
And Barnabas, I presume, will have already spread some rumors about how powerful a necromancer Evitala is.
mm-hmm. What I don't know is Charles Bromstone. What do you think would happen to you if you came into the casino?
I would think that since one of their bouncers went missing, they that's what this guy is here. That's
Yes.
they might link it to me,
Like I said, it's double.
and as well as if they were just my bouncer, my butler would be taken back. Me being there doesn't look good.
Wait, one of the bouncers went missing?
His corpse is currently on the floor.
Ah, yes. Why did I not think about that? Okay. Wow. All right. Awesome. Okay. So
That's why I only saw to the door.
Gotcha. So it wouldn't be good for you. All right.
Just writing that down as Plan B. Son.
All right. I think that's all good. And Dasco, yeah, if you want to just come in and see how much you can make gambling and stuff.
Oh,
Or just enjoying the company.
I'll just enjoy the company. I don't gamble. Gambling with one's own money is a disease.
Fair enough. So I don't actually know what the plan is. All I have are contingency plans. I don't know what the original plan, the initial plan is to get us.
We have a whole bunch of plans for what if it goes wrong, but we don't have a plan to go wrong.
Right. So from my limited and sleepy understanding of what we need to do, we assume that the rival necromancer is here at the casino. 1. Am I correct on this assumption?
Mm-hmm.
2. We need to retrieve Charles's butler, which we assume is held by the rival necromancer. 3. We need to orchestrate a situation in which we can receive 1 from 2.
And we have a series of chess pieces in place, but now we don't know exactly how we're going to start moving them.
I think really what
you're a good talker, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So if you can talk to people that work there and find out where the butler is, and then get me or us that information, I can try to steal whatever keys or whatever we need. I don't know what Dasco's going to do. And then I guess once we get the keys, then Rorik is on. And that's the initial plan. And we'll see how badly that fucking goes.
I mean, if you don't have an initial plan, nothing can go wrong.
Oh, and he'll like flip over the bouncer, and he'll like pull out a red card of his thing. It's like, you may want to have this inside the casino. Just make sure none what no one sees you enter with it.
What does that red card do?
Let's see. Let me just check. Like pull this stopwatch up so I can. Break room.
It goes into the break room.
Yeah, this one goes into the break room. I said double check for a second. But it's still inside the building.
So we know what room now.
Well, that's just the break room, or is that where the
So it's like an employee break room.
Yeah.
That's where the butler is, or
We don't know. That just only one room so you can have access in the casino if you can.
So, Barnabas, do you want to use this key to try to go schmooze up the employees and figure out where this guy's being held?
yeah, that sounds good. I mean, it's gonna be a little weird if I'm just walking into their break room, but I guess I can like just once we get in there, I'll just figure out what the uniform is and
You are a master of disguise, after all.
attempt to look like that, like I belong.
It's literally your forte.
And if you look at your the second portion of your power, you can if you're not in a scene yet, you can insert yourself as one of the NPCs that's already there.
Nice. So basically, I can just work at the casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to pre-infiltrate, that's great.
I'm all for that.
That makes sense. So I guess I will use my flashback power to craft a disguise and assume the identity of someone that works at the casino.
You don't even need a flashback. This is part of our initial planning, essentially.
Yeah, right now you're just planning. But yeah.
Okay.
If at some point there's a scene that you're not in and you want to be in that scene, if it's reasonable that you could have disguised yourself as an NPC that's already there, you can do that with your flashback power.
Cool. Okay.
In that case, since the plan is changing, I think the interrogation tools, actually, we'll just keep them there. It's more flexible this way.
They might come in
You can
handy.
you can keep those. Like Deska said, Rorik is an interrogation tool.
But yeah, so Kristen, do you want to make a roll to see if you can disguise yourself as an employee?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Are you going to try to convince an employee to let you cover for somebody's shift? Or are you going to try to like basically make up a person and walk up there and try to get a job? Or are you going to try and impersonate somebody who actually works there and tie them up in the woods somewhere?
So, could we assume that maybe there's potentially some low-life characters that work here? I suppose, because I have the talent called Infamous. So basically, I can call in a favor to connect with someone who already works at the casino from my network, and then go basically call in a favor and say, "Oh, hey, like I'll work your shift tonight. Give me your uniform."
Yes.
No questions asked.
Yeah, you can pay one crime and you're in without even a roll.
Excellent. I will do that.
Excellent use of the talents. Okay, so you guys you've got a dwarf on the inside. Tice, what is the employee uniform for the basic workers at this place?
There tend to be like a more dark colors like blacks and like darker grays and stuff. Things that would were things that like would hide like dark reds and stuff that would hide
So like a valet's uniform,
Yeah.
dark reds and black. Alrighty.
We're talking about real world dark reds because, like, red becomes brown after the blood is exposed to air.
I'm picturing like a classic valet's uniform, but just like solid black.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a picture. Like that, but with black instead of white. And like really dark red. That's what I'm picturing.
That looks nice.
Excellent.
I thought there was like a hat that went with that too. I could be wrong.
All right, I am all suited up.
Oh
Time to
yeah,
go to
yeah,
work.
they did. They had a little hat.
I love that this is so anachronistic.
Oh yeah. But who knows what styles will be in any universe, really? It's all about professionalism. All right, so with Barnabas suited up and on the inside, working a shift, it's midnight. The casino is hopping, so to speak. Do you guys approach the front door all together, or are you going to insert yourself gradually over time?
Gradually over time.
Who's going in first? Aside, obviously, from Barnabas, that's already on the inside.
I feel like it actually should be Remy, just and then have
yeah.
Avatar and Aurora going.
You would like that, wouldn't you? All right, I'll go on first.
All right, Tice, describe what Remy finds on the inside of the casino.
Let's see here. Is there many casinos in Talus? I don't know, like how prominent casinos are. But yeah, like from the in the public area, like the areas, you'll see like your normal like some like dwarven games. Like there's like there's a very actually a pretty nice diverse set of games all around here. Obviously, materials, everything in it place is like top quality, and of course, just like in other places, there's rooms off to the side and such with like cards on them. And yeah, several bars all around the area, and a couple of butchers as well, surprisingly.
Is this the kind of casino where you just lay your currency down, or does this casino have a pit boss where you trade your currency for tokens while you're in the casino and then trade your tokens back for currency as you leave?
This is one with the actual, there's a pit boss off in the center. And yeah, he does the pit boss is like, he has a bit of a reddish eyes to him. It's like he might actually have some kind of pit in him.
said pit boss, not pit fiend boss.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of pit like in hole. I was trying to figure out how they connected.
Yeah, pit fiends would be from the deepest holes of the hells.
Is that my belt, or is it pit tail, or what? Did we decide what demon my belt is from?
That could well be a pit fiend tail, as there were at least 3 pit fiends in the battle at Garathan, and there were more also present at the other city that got attacked later.
Hmm.
If you fought alongside the heroes Gunthar and Wulthar, there would be ample opportunity to have acquired pit fiend tail. As like their heroics weren't off in the wilderness or anything. They were in the middle of the battlefield with people fighting and dying on both sides all around them.
Yeah, Rourke is a veteran of such battles.
And this is a crowd that would probably recognize that tail. Not
so they should
necessarily
be afraid.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily recognize the specific owner of the tail, but they would recognize what the tail is and what it represents. So if you want to use that on your intimidation checks, this is the spot to do it. But for now, Remy, you're in a casino. What would you like to do?
I will stop by the pit boss and trade in my tokens.
Are you going to trade in pocket change, or are you going to trade in something of actual significant value?
And some of those little blood trinket, my share of those blood trinkets that we had.
Okay. Pocket change, basically.
Yeah. And then I will go sit at the bar and have a drink and look for anybody I know that works there. Keep my eyes open for anyone that works there that I recognize.
Cool.
Barnabas is actually the bartender tonight.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. And I'm definitely at the bar.
All right. Team B, go.
So in Evatal, right?
Yeah.
All right, I opened the door for her.
Avatar is going to sway through the door, making it as clear as possible that she has money and she's come to gamble.
Are you doing anything magical about your appearance or anything? Anything that a wizard would be able to pick up on? Or are you keeping the magic under wraps for now?
I am certainly dressed like I am magical.
Okay. No spells
However,
to make your hair float, or like little
Yeah.
trinkets floating around in the air around you or anything?
No. But I'm dressed in the way that the average person would look at me and go, ooh. And a wizard would be at least intrigued to see if I'm actually going to perform something.
The kind of lady that if her hair was floating or she had magic trinkets, it would seem garish.
The spells of minor levitation really change the way fashion works in a fantasy setting. But yeah, they would be exceedingly expensive unless you could cast them yourself. So yeah, that if you don't want to look like one of those high roller posers, then this is a good look. So you do plenty of eyes turn as you enter. There are some whispers, as obviously there were some rumors spread around that there was a lady of high power in the vicinity. Some people are keeping an eye on you, looking to see if anything happens, but nobody approaches you.
I mean, with me there.
Nobody wants to get within sword's reach of that bodyguard of yours.
And my sword reach is wide.
All right. In that case, I will approach Pit Boss and put down enough money that would appear sizable.
Would you like to put down some of the money from the sale of the axe?
Like, what if like how much money is like if she taxes it by 1? Like, still pretty significant, right?
Yeah, that's very significant.
And presumably, I could come out ahead, or at least even, if I have talent or luck. So, yeah, I'm going to tax it by 1.
Tice, is this the sort of establishment where a pit boss would have to call out a manager to accept this amount of money? Or is this something that they will casually take because they're that high end? Bear in mind, the amount of money that she's just put down is the sort of money that kings buy property with.
Yeah, the pit boss will call it down, especially with who the clientele is.
So it chips down, no manager call?
Yeah.
Cool. They're playing it cool as you are.
I make sure not to step away until I see the money go into a secure place or whatever.
You do see the money vanish, for sure. But like any high-end establishment, they don't reveal exactly how it's secured to anyone.
I nod knowingly. And is there like a table that seems like especially high roller?
That probably wouldn't be in this room. That would probably be in a back room.
Well, then I will ask. So, where's the real money at, let's say?
She wants to sit at the big girl table.
Tice, this is on you.
That would be the the Queen of Hearts room.
There are doors in the back with large playing card paintings on them.
Yeah. And is Eugene, was it? Is Eugene here tonight? Because I'm only in town for a couple days. I'd love to meet the owner of this fine establishment.
I can speak to him. Someone of your stature. He might be willing to come down.
All right. I'll be heading to the Queen of Hearts room, you said? And
Yes.
tell him to feel free to come down. And if he wants to join in the game, by all means, he's welcome.
All right. Is this all you need to trade in? Is there anything else you want to trade in?
I look to Rock and just like try and make my face look like I'm considering trading in a person just to get reaction out of Rock.
Rorik remains stoic.
A professional.
No. That will be all for now. Maybe later. Depends how good your drinks are.
Rorik bows her head in deference to Evatala.
Yeah. And I assume I have a fairly large stack of chips or tokens as I head into that room.
I make a show of like bundling them all in my arms and walk behind you, basically carrying your money for you.
It's not long before Barnabas gets a message from one of the other employees that they're going to need some of the best drinks they've ever made. Boss has plans. With all of that commotion, Ed, hardly anyone notices as Dasco enters the building. It's a casino. You've seen these before.
Yeah, I just go up to the bar, notice that our guy's behind the bar, and then smile and have a drink. I put my box of wands very carefully on the table in front of me, on the bar, and then order a drink. I'm not into scamming casinos because they usually have lots and lots of protection, and also it's just the business of the thing. Like scamming other grifters is just there's no fun. So.
Ew. Code of honor? Gross.
Alrighty. Tice.
You would think out-grifter would be like a juicy prize, right?
Yeah, but casinos are they're just dirty places. Dasco doesn't have a fondness for gambling. He also is a bit nervous around magic, just generally. So he's just chilling at the bar, looking around. If he sees an opportunity, then he'll take it. But he doesn't scam institutions. You know, they're complicated. You scam the king. It's got to be personal. You know.
Scam the government.
You scam the king, not the government. That's one of the first things I learned in the art of the grift.
Well, perhaps you'll find an individual here. It is a casino, after all, which is a magnet for rubes.
Correct. So I'm sitting at the bar just looking around. But I'm not clear on what the plan is. I'm pretty clear that no one is. And so I'm just waiting for shit to start exploding or stuff to start breaking. I'm just going to see what happens. Knowing full well that I'm safe because I've got a box full of explosive wands if I need them.
Does anyone else in the front room want to take any precautions before we switch scenes to the back room where Evatala and Rourke are going?
Precautions. I was eventually going to ask Barnabas if he'd found any information on, or if there are any private rooms that might be of interest. He's got
All
any
right.
information yet.
So I suspect in my time before everyone arrived, I could have spent a little bit of time looking around.
You should have a pretty good map of the casino and of all the back access points for getting drinks to the private rooms and stuff, yeah.
Sweet.
Tice, were there any secured rooms that employees were not allowed into?
No one was allowed into the Ace of the Ace of Diamonds room. That was Eugene's personal spot that he goes into. No, there's only one other part. There's only one other person allowed in that room.
Essentially, the boss's office is the only off-limits room. Okay.
Barnabas be able to know which other employee has access to that room?
That would sound like a roll.
Got it.
Would that be something I maybe would have persuaded out of one of the people that work here?
Could do. Persuasion or investigation, both would would work for a situation like this, although they are representing different techniques for getting the information.
Yeah, I would say persuasion would be a little bit more difficult than investigation because, like, no one wants to be the one that, like, to give away information about the boss.
Not only that, but if you use persuasion, then there will be somebody who knows you're up to something. If you use investigation to look at like patterns and see who does and doesn't come out, just observing, then no one's going to know that you're looking for information about it.
Excellent point. Yeah, I'll just investigate so as not to get anyone else suspicious. So I'll go ahead and do that.
Is that investigation plus cunning? Or investigation plus focus?
That was investigation plus perception, but maybe that wasn't the right thing to do.
Oh, okay. No, perception. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was
You're
figuring
watching the doors, watching the entrances.
exactly, watching people's movement, that sort of thing.
We need to get 10 successes total, so I feel like 2 out of 10, that represents a fifth of the successes we need for the whole scenario, right?
Yep,
That's pretty good then.
that is pretty good.
You do notice that when the boss goes in there, as well as is that the card that he uses, and presumably what the other guy uses is a sleek black card with like a silver slash across it, and the only other person you ever saw with a card like that is the pit boss.
So the owner and the pit boss would be the two that access that room.
Excellent. Yeah, so I've drawn up a map and like handed that information over to Remy and point out that the pit boss is the only other person that has access to that room.
Now, this is one of the rooms that is visible as a door from the main entrance, right? Or is this room completely secret and in the back? Because you said it's the Ace of Diamonds room, and all the rooms out in the front, they have cards. So is this one of those rooms?
I would say that every room except for the aces are highly visible. The aces are only ones, like they're the ace in the holes. So there's like four aces, for like 3 of them are for like special events and stuff. So like they're like behind.
So basically, you need to get a backstage pass with an employee before you can get into one of those rooms.
Yeah.
There's no way in from the front. Okay, very good. Alrighty, Evatala, you have entered the, I believe it was the...
Queen of Hearts?
Was it the Queen of...
Hearts.
Oh yeah, Queen of Hearts room, yep. And if Barnabas comes to deliver you a drink, you might get some information that this is not the highest of the high roller rooms. But you may find that out for yourself. Here, we'll see. Tice, what is in the Queen of Hearts room?
It's a simple but like elegant black mahogany table that runs along the room with someone in the center. It's a card game room that I think like it swaps between several different games, as well as so yeah. And there's already several occupants in there right now, gambling. gambling away, and some of them are like strangely looking a little bit visibly older than they should be.
I think this is a good place to insert Troy as one of these other gambling characters. Troy, what kind of a gambler would you be here?
So everyone in here is a necromancer in a sense, right?
Or is drawn here because they've involved themselves in necromantic arts, and this is one of the few places where they'd be treated as welcome instead of shunned. It's a place where they can be open about their necromancy. Also, a stunning-looking woman who rumors have it is quite powerful in the necromantic arts has just entered the room, which should be of interest to your character so that you'll have motivation to help the party. But, you know, necromancers have some self-interest too. It is also open to people that are, you know, not strictly necromancers, but are necromancer adjacent. So if you work for a necromancer or you're like a crypt keeper, graveyard management, maybe you're just a really good embalmer that they come to sometimes when their zombies need to patch up.
He hands you a business card. It says exquisite corpses.
Tasco shudders.
That's pretty great. Yeah, something along the lines of a what did you say, mortician, or just someone who keeps corpses?
Embalmer?
So embalmers would, what does an embalmer do? It like makes them
Embalmers
preserve?
prepare bodies for preservation.
Yeah.
So
they
they like
take
drain
corpses.
blood and fill it with fluid so that one, it doesn't look like it's dead, and two, so that they don't have rotting blood inside of them. For example.
Having been a roommate for one for a little while, although she's since moved out, but I also happen to know that they do a lot of stuff involving like reattaching bones with wires to make the skeleton look like it's in the correct shapes. Sometimes even entirely reconstructing bones if the damage is severe enough.
I mean, morticians basically do that.
The morticians are more about the ceremonies, apparently. They're,
interesting.
Yeah, they run the business, but in the basement they keep the embalmers to actually make the corpses look good.
It sounds so much worse. It's like they don't see the people. You know, before they get there. But yeah, but an embalmer works then.
Presumably not just an embalmer, the embalmer. Given that you've managed to make it to one of the high classrooms.
It is a very shiny business card that this embalmer is handing you. What is the embalmer's name?
I always try to like get ahead of you and do a quick like name lookup, and they're never good.
Just go with something Slavic sounding, dude. You'll be fine.
Open up Google Translate, type in Top Hat, and then like translate it into a dozen different languages and see what you get.
See, now I really want to do that.
Troy, clear.
Okay, his name is Capelle, which is top hat in Albanian.
Cool. That's a lot more pronounceable than the Macedonian I was trying to translate into.
And I'm going to use this trick all the time now, so thank you.
You want to see one of my greatest ones? Pick Icelandic as the language to translate it to, and then type the word ice in.
Wait, which word?
Ice. If you translate ice into Icelandic. Oh, it doesn't do it anymore. What? Oh. That's how I
Taki?
got Kaldur's name.
Oh. It does it. It changed.
They've changed how they're interpreting it now, yeah.
It's a good bit of history, though.
So as you like hand this business card to Altala, she doesn't even look at it. She just like hands it back to Ruroc.
Oh, it's cool. That's how they're interpreting it now.
That makes sense because Calder sounds like colder, right?
Oh, but if you go backwards, cool becomes flot. Interesting.
Oh, translation. I wonder, it's going to take a lot of work to make a computer be able to understand language in a way that people do.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so an embalmer and a charlatan pretending to be a necromancer walk into a casino. I'm excited to hear what the punchline of this joke is.
Yeah, so I sort of disregard the embalmer, and my goal is to look as disappointed as possible in the clientele. Yeah, I guess sit down wherever the most populous table is. Preferably for poker, because that's the game I know.
I suspect in this room, this being the high roller room, there'd probably only be the one table. But Tice could correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, it's just the one table.
Alright, well, then I just sit down, have Ruroc plug my stack of tokens that presumably has now made me the large stack at the table.
By a lot. You have colors in your tokens that no one else on the table even has.
Immediately, I go like, so, how do we feel about bumping up the stack tonight? Surely you get a lot of money flowing through your town here. Surely a lot of money through my castle.
Are you talking to the dealer?
I'm talking to the table.
The table. Okay.
Sort of like, let's increase stakes. Let's play for more.
Tice, do you want to do this as a like a check, or is the table open to just raising the stakes a bit?
I think the table is open to raising the stack a little bit. Some of them definitely look like they're a little bit more desperate at the table than others. They've been having a rough night.
All right, so maybe some of them treat this as dangerous, and some of them treat it as an opportunity to make even more money.
Recovering from a bad night.
And which one of those are you, Troy?
I mean, just like tank him at this point, right? He has to be recovering from a bad night. So that's the goal.
All right. So the table accepts the increased ante and value of what to bet, and you go ahead and play a round of whatever the Talus equivalent of poker is. Which brings about an interesting question. Is there a skill that represents gamesmanship?
I feel like performance could function.
It depends what you're doing.
Crime.
Performance would be for like bluffing, right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Avatar is more interested in cheating.
That would be
a magic.
crime.
Yeah. But at the beginning, like, I just want to play it legit and act like a big fish.
Okay, so your goal is more to impress people than it is to actually win.
To splash money. Be
Yeah,
somebody they
so
want to keep at the table.
I could say you could either do performance, scholarship, or crime.
I mean, it depends on the game, but like investigation, crime, and persuasion, those are performance. Those are all keys.
If it's like poker, what would you say then?
I mean, performance and investigation if you're playing legitimately.
The first she has to play legit.
Crime is also there if you're not playing legitimately, or
The first he has to play legitimately. I'm actually hoping to lose, but not try to lose because that's bad.
I'd say performance then, because your goal here is mostly about how you want other people to perceive you.
Alright, having one in performance. I guess could be performance empathy, right?
And instead of being money, your successes are going to be progress towards getting into the back room.
So performance empathy would be okay, right?
Performance plus empathy, I think.
Yeah. 3 successes.
All right.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Tice, that means they're halfway to success here. So does this draw enough attention to get the owner of the shop interested?
Yes.
Now comes the hard part, right?
A couple of the people, like after, will be dragged out of the room. They kind of look like they look like they're a bit elderly. They're like they're elders now, which you swore they were like in their mid-adult life when you first came into the room.
Oh my god, are they paying for time? Are they paying with time? Jesus fuck. I'm glad we paid with money.
Right? The real question is who's gotten those years? Troy, is your character looking a little younger, a little more spry right now?
Is Avatar just a baby? Say they're just splashing cash now.
I think I'm sure there's some kind of limit, right? Is this not a Benjamin Button kind of situation?
Yeah, this is more just standard casino. Like things are structured for a reason. Is as long as things are structured, on average, the casino makes money. And in poker, since the casino gets a portion of the ante, they just make a flat amount per round. So keeping things structured and sane and not people at each other's throats is in the best interest of the casino. All right, well,
Well, I was going to say, in this situation, Avatar's basically just playing any two cards and hoping to win, and if not that, bet people out of the pot. She is also like, where's my drink? This drink's whatever. I've had better. You know, basically play the part of annoyed rich person who expects everybody to bend to their will.
Barnabas, you're getting
So you're playing yourself.
Yes,
Barnabas, you're getting notices from
with
your
no self-awareness.
from your coworkers, air quotes around those, that they need you in one of the back rooms with a really high end drink ASAP. There's a customer that's dissatisfied.
What I'm actually doing, because I don't want to actually get drunk, I am, instead of turning water to wine, I'm turning wine to water, basically.
Okay.
And pretending to be increasingly more drunk and more dissatisfied.
And that's a fairly simple variant of purify water, which is just meant to remove poisons, of which technically alcohol is. So yeah, purify food and water is a spell that you could improvise. It's not like,
I feel like
that's
most
like a level
drugs are
one.
like poison but fun, right? Like
Yeah.
Evatala is not a heavy drinker.
So
to clarify, she's asking for Barnabas, basically, right?
So to purify it, just go ahead and roll your, it's your magical potential, just straight with no other modifiers, and you need 1 success to successfully cast the spell.
2
Bam,
successes.
you got it. So yeah, tax your potential by 1, and you have purified your drinks for the rest of the evening.
But yeah, I pretend to be a rich drunk idiot now.
Heck, even with 2 successes on that, they still have all the flavor of the drinks, but they it's not. It's like the non-alcoholic versions now.
Which is good for the fruity drinks, not so good for things like whiskey. But Barnabas presumably comes in with a fresh drink for you. Barnabas, have you put any information on her napkin?
Ooh, yeah. I definitely had drawn up a map of the place, targeting the ace of whatever room, the room that probably has our target. And yeah, that's on the napkin that I am including with the drink.
I hope this one's better. Get immediately like grimace. It's actually pretty good. You're a decent bartender, but
Thank you.
I'm not saying that out loud, but
Okay.
I'm laying to you like, where did you go to bartending school? This is awful. The balance of strawberries and peach is way off.
All right, so this would probably be a good time for the owner of the establishment to come in to try and handle the unruly customer. Are you there, Tice?
Looks like he's taking care of something.
Okay.
Taste.
Just
Sorry
got
about
back.
that. I'm back.
No worries.
All right. So the customer is dissatisfied with the level of play and the quality of the drinks. The owner is needed.
All right. Um. So yeah, the door opens as a younger-looking man comes in. I'll use this picture because I love this picture. A strapping young man walks in. And he takes a seat nearby. So you're the one that everyone is talking about. Oh, where my man is. I am. It is nice to meet you. And he'll put his hand out towards you.
Shake it. You've clearly won a lot at this. A lot of time at the tables, haven't you?
Well, after owning a place like this for long enough, you pick up a game or two.
Well, look, I understand that you're in a small town, but where I come from, this table here, this is out in the main hall. This is like not even 100% of like the top of the main hall. Like, I came here and I kind of wanted to, like, I mean, look, I'm just banging them out of every pot. This isn't fun. And also, can I just say, you really need to rethink your bar staff. They're very nice people, I'm sure, but they do not have any concept of a palate.
For the record, they probably are not very nice people. But yes, the point stands.
Like this here, she's my bodyguard. I bet she can make a better drink than you all, and that's not even her job.
Well, that won't do.
I should clarify, I'm not offering her. She also is a very good bodyguard.
So Tice, this would be a good opportunity to do something like have the owner offer to take her to the real back room, like the real private rooms in the back, but warn her that in those rooms it's not money we gamble. It's things of greater substance. Something like that, something spooky, and then start transitioning them into the back. Now, that back room is not necessarily going to be the room where the prisoner is being held, but it would lead through a hallway that goes past that door. So that gives the players an opportunity to try to do something.
Well, this room is the greatest you can have that money can buy. For other things, there's even more. If you believe a woman of such quality that believes that they're above money, then I have a couple of rooms that may entice you.
Go on.
It is all fun and games when it comes to money, but that can be spent, it can be lost. There's a lot of things that people enjoy more than money that they hold on tight. And that is some things that I enjoy the most, because when you lose them, satisfaction of taking them from someone is even such greater.
Take me to this room.
That's the kind of commandment you get from the Highborn. All right. So now, Barnabas, you can see that the owner of the establishment is about to start taking Evitalia and Rourke through the halls to a back room where a game is being played, but past the door to the locked room, the Ace of Spades room, or Ace of Diamonds room. Do you want to go get the rest of the crew, or do you want to stick by them?
I will get the rest of the crew.
Well, I'm easy to find. I'm still sitting at the bar looking around.
Nice. I figure Remy's still at the bar. Great. Yeah, I'll head back there. I guess knowing that they're like heading past there and somewhere else, he's distracted, so
This would be a
Maybe
good
try
time
and
if you
make our
wanted
way.
to just slip them through the back door, or through the, like, basically have them hop over the bar and come into the employee area with you.
nice. Is the pit boss still pitting it up?
Yep.
I
So if
wonder
you,
if it,
if you want to do this without the pit boss noticing, it's definitely going to be a stealth check.
this is maybe even more insane. Well, either we need to like break into this room by force or lockpicking, or we try and get the key card. It sounds like there's some sort of special key card to get into the room, which the pit boss would have.
There are 2 magically enchanted playing cards. They're plain black with no suit or number on them and a small silver stripe. One of them is carried by the pit boss, the other is carried by the owner. The owner is currently walking Evitalia and Rourke past that room.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I guess we could try and pickpocket the pit boss, unless anyone feels confident in their ability to just break into that room.
I feel much more confident in my ability to pickpocket.
Awesome.
I'm entirely confident in my ability to be a doofus and just bump into this guy, you know? I can cause a distraction.
Yeah.
Teamwork, everyone.
That sounds like a good idea. And then maybe I'll just be carrying a tray of drinks and I'll also distract by just like dropping the tray of drinks somewhere off in the distance. So there's just commotion going on everywhere.
So this commotion is going to be going on in a thin hallway in the back of the casino. Going between
Oh, that's where the
rooms.
pit boss is?
No.
No, that's what the boss is.
Oh, you want to pickpocket the pit boss?
Do they want to pick? Okay, just to clarify, are we pickpocketing the owner of the establishment or the pit boss?
I was
assumed it
trying.
was the owner.
I thought we were going to pickpocket the pit boss because I'm up at the front where the bar is, where the pit boss is.
I mean, I'm up there too.
I'm currently predisposed. I'm with Evitala, so we're in the back.
Exactly. You guys are with the boss, so like if we'd have to go back to where you are to pickpocket the boss. So what I was saying is, when I went to the front, that's where the bar is. The pit boss, I assume, is somewhere near the bar because he's pitting it up, and then the 3 of us were gonna like do our tomfoolery to like pickpocket the pit boss, head to the back. The boss is distracted because he's with Evitala, and then we get into the room that is apparently unguarded right now.
Okay, so real quick, how are you getting the pit boss out of his pit? Because he's currently, so if you've ever been to a casino, and I've been to maybe like one once, they're usually behind a counter where it's like a secured area. Like you can't just, you could maybe shake their hand at the most, you know, like it's not like you can get to them.
Well, that's cool. I'm just going to go start looking over people's shoulders and then winking at some guy across the room.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
I'm just going to drunkenly stumble through, kind of look at people as I'm walking, and then just give a wink to a guy like on the other side. I don't know. I'm just gonna pick a guy. He's the guy that's in trouble for this. I'm just gonna wink at that guy at the table.
Nice.
But I'm horrendously drunk, or pretending to be horrendously drunk. So like it's patently obvious what I'm doing.
Well, again, we're gonna give him.
That's exactly right.
All right, so like a minor change of the earlier plan because I wasn't accounting for the pit boss being within a pit. So it sounds like Ed's gonna be pretending that there's some cheating going on. That's what I assume the winking is. That's gonna pull the pit boss out. Then I can do some sort of distraction-y thing while Remy picks the pocket.
Yep.
Profit.
Alrighty. So getting a pit boss out of their pit is going to be a pretty tall order. I'm going to say that's probably a difficulty 5.
Like they've got other goons, right? He's like the chief goon, right?
Yeah, and the pits are designed to be difficult to get both in and out of. So even if he is inclined to get out, he's going to have to take some time to get the locks undone to get out of that enclosure. But a performance check with difficulty, with a 5 successes would be sufficient to get him started on that process.
Let's all work together.
This is a tall order, boys.
Otherwise, he's just going to motion to some bouncers to take care of it.
Well, maybe I could come over and also help with the performance. So instead of the distraction thing, I'm going to assume, I guess, Remy is a pretty good pickpocketer and doesn't need me to do any distracting. I, as an employee of this fine establishment, notice that Dasco is like winking, and I'll make a big scene about it as well. So I'll kind of like add to the commotion and like call over the pit boss, basically.
Excellent. Yours is probably going to be the primary role then. So let's have Dasco see if he can give you some helper dice. And then we'll see if you can call over the pit boss successfully. Dasco, yours is going to be performance, and Kristen, yours is going to be persuasion.
Would can I add helper dice?
You can if you want to.
Damn.
I think what they had intended is for you to be on the ready to pick the pocket as he came out instead of helping.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you created quite a scene. What are you saying about about this drunkard who's winking?
All right, so I just roll up and let's say I'm like already serving drinks to people at the table, and then as Dasco is winking, I'll just make a huge commotion about it, just like, hey, what's going on here? There is no cheating allowed here. And then I'll start hollering at like the pit boss, like, hey, come over here. There's definitely some sort of cheating going on right here. This guy right here and that guy right there. We got to kick them out.
I turn and look at you and say, I'm not doing no cheating. I don't know what you accused me of.
Oh, I saw it. I caught you red-handed.
All right. Pit boss shouts, says, hold him down, and starts fumbling with keys, trying to get himself out of the pit.
I guess I'll grab Dasco by the collar. Or I'm a dwarf, so I don't know how threatening that is, or possible.
I'm being repressed.
All right. Pit boss does get the pit open. Makes sure no one's even anywhere near him before turning his back to lock it back up again. Keys go on into a pouch. Pouch goes somewhere inside his vest, and turns around to then head towards the scene. Remy, you're up.
All right. What do I roll for this? Because I also have gifted in thieving, and I'm keen for using my hands. And I have a talent in pickpocket as well.
Yeah, let's read the talent on pickpocket. You can spend 1 crime to steal any small item off of an unsuspecting individual without them noticing.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So you tax it and you've stolen the item.
Done.
Oh, balance.
Yeah. The you could roll if you didn't want to tax it, but yeah.
I mean, do we need more successes to get our 10?
No, you know where you're going, and you have the tools to do it. You have achieved the number of successes, which was 10. You got 11. That'll do.
All right.
Or no, wait, what's the Zelda one for opening a chest?
Da-da-da.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. So I guess we've got our key card. Let's hustle back to the back room because we know where that is.
Pit boss.
I think I'm getting
is-
kicked out of the bar.
Yeah, the pit boss is not going to let you guys just hustle.
Oh wait,
back.
never mind. I guess Remy, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Well, Remy's not on his own. Dasco is.
I guess yeah, Dasko's on.
Now, the pit boss did tell you to hold Dasco down, so coming over, the pit boss is probably going to want your help in throwing Dasco out.
Yeah, I suppose I am also. I don't know if there's any physicality to this. I am a dwarf. I don't know how big Dasko is, and maybe Dasko.
I mean, you're pretty stout and strong. Dwarves are strong as fuck. They're like thick.
Uh-huh.
They're like thick boys, all right? They're like muscle. I mean,
Alright,
you don't
I'm
have
gonna
to
give 'em up.
be like an older guy, so maybe you got the dad bod, but dads are pretty strong,
You could probably pick me up. Brent.
Once you guys have him up, you're surprised to notice that the pit boss is not taking him to the door, but instead seems to want to take him further into the casino, perhaps to a torture room.
No. Maybe I don't know if there's
It's
any
okay.
way that I could.
It's okay. Are they taking the other guy too?
Yeah, you were accusing another guy, right?
No, I was winking at another guy about people's cards at the table. I just picked a random person out of the room.
Yeah, innocent person here.
Yeah, so the pit boss is ordering the bouncers to restrain that person and bring him into the back as well.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
Is there any way maybe I could persuade that it's a different person than Dasko? I'll just go. Oh no, it was
No, that's obviously me.
So it was definitely him. Like he was doing the Agatha wink, you know what I'm saying? Like, super obvious.
That would be a truly supernatural persuasion check if you convince them that the guy, like, flopping around on the floor pointing at the guy going, hey, you, is not the guy that's flopping around on the floor pointing at the guy going, hey, you.
Instead, shit.
You just point to some like random person on that's just sitting by themselves and you're like, no, wait, it was him, not the guy that's drunken on the floor. That's what psychics are for. Alrighty. Yeah, so Remy, while those two are being dragged into some other back room, you are headed towards the door. Evatala and Rourke, you guys are right now walking past that door. Do you want to do anything while you're there, or do you just want to keep going and keep this guy distracted?
Distracted is my
Distracted.
vote. We need to make some room for the other half of the team to do what they're going to do.
Okay. So, Remy, you arrive at the door, and there's nobody there, and you've got the card.
I open the door. I go
Tice,
inside.
what does he find inside the Ace of Diamonds room?
You in the Ace of Diamonds room, you find a well polished black desk, and in the corner is what was it? Had this planned. Is a giant human-sized briefcase.
All right.
They've got him packed up like luggage.
Is there anything of value on the desk?
Tice, is there anything of value in the desk?
Everything seems mundane there, except there's one thing on the card. It seems to be just a single card on the table that's in a frame.
All right, I'll take that and I'll go to the suitcase then.
Is the man in the suitcase alive, Tice?
He's currently suspended in in between life and death, sort of a stasis.
They Han Solo'd his ass.
Which probably means you're going to have to drag that suitcase out.
Is it heavy? I mean, it's magical.
If I were a betting man, I'd say it's light, but that's up to Tice.
Yeah, it's light, but it's very big and very obvious.
It's like a three in a trench coat kind of situation.
Alrighty. So, yeah, you're going to be able to get that out the door into the hall, and then you're going to start encountering probably people. It's going to start with employees, and then as you get further in, it's going to be bouncers and whatever's become of your team, who you might also want to try to extract. So, meanwhile, let's see, Evatala, you have entered into the actual High Rollers room, where people bet their life force and their most precious possessions, like family members and stuff. I presume your intention is to just survive here without losing anything for as long as you need to before you can get out.
How many people are in this room? Because my actual intention was to wreck shop.
There are only currently 2 other occupants in this room.
And how are they looking?
It's hard to tell sometimes with them, especially with necromancers, of how old they are. So some of them might be fueled by other forces, or they just might be fresh off coming here. It's hard to tell.
I guess your question is how much vitality do they appear to possess?
Yeah.
How much life force is there that she can rob them of in a game of cards?
Or at least she hopes.
Well, it depends on how much you want to give up. Because these are the higher players, so they'll be a lot better than the...
She's asking how young they look. Do they look young?
Oh, yeah, they look young.
Okay, good. So there's plenty of currency there. All right, and so we'll pick up with what you're going to do there next week. The last thing I want to do is just go over Dasko's arrival in the interrogation room. So
Dasko and some poor other asshole.
You and the random guy that you pointed at are tied to chairs, and the pit boss is orders someone to get the info out of you and then heads back to the pit. And Barnabas, he says, get back to work. And so there's going to be 2 brutes there to try to get the info out of you. Barnabas, you're one of the people told to tie them down. Do you want to do any funny business when you're tying them up?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like tie Dasco up very loosely in a way that he can like. It's like a slip knot, I guess.
I immediately burst into tears and say, I'll talk.
Oh God, yeah.
Brilliant. Alrighty, and this is where we'll pick up next week. I have learned my lesson about going past midnight, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So go ahead and do closing ceremonies, and we'll next week pick up and find out how this all shakes out.
Ooh, I'm gonna go first. Before anyone else. All right, so Tice, great job GMing tonight. I love the sort of vibe of this swanky necromancer town. Definitely not what I would have imagined for a necromancer town. I would imagine that it's like gross, but it's not gross, but it is gross in a different way. It's like, super skeezy. So I really like the vibe that you were able to do with the setting. For Kristen, man, you just pulled off a lot of different stuff. Like you were doing a lot of heavy lifting in this session as the man on the inside. So I grant a point for that. Chris, thank you for flawlessly executing a pickpocketing attempt. I'm trying to think here. See, I got Kristen, Tice. For Vivian, you get a point for being for living your best life in this casino. Troy, you were playing the embalmer guy. I love that character. I know he didn't get too much screen time, but I really liked the flavor of that character. It was really cool. And then Ed, you're it was Agatha all along. Exaggerated wink, good shit. I love it. And the crying, cherry on top. I loved it, all of it. Everyone did a really great job with their characters tonight. And if I missed someone, please let me know because I would love to grant you an experience point. I'm also very tired, so I'm sorry if I forgot someone.
Yeah. I'll go next. I'll want to give Mini Beast for being scary as a bouncer. That always helps. I definitely felt that. I want to give one to Eben for reluctantly stabbing himself in the finger for the payment. I want to give one to Echelon for just like the fact that I like that they know exactly who to scam. Just like they recognize other scammers as well. So great kite for the card, the embalming card. So this like if you have a whole just like pocket full of embalming cards. Vivian for making all the plans and also providing the coin to get into the bar, but like expecting someone else to pay because you have such low HP. You're just like no, someone else got to pay for it. Shifty for being the for basically helping get in the card from the pit boss, but also at the same time making sure your friend is in the same spot, in a good spot to escape. I think it's everyone.
All right, I'll go. Point to Chris for sacrificing Remy despite it could be completely unnecessary. Point to Troy for I know you didn't have a lot to do tonight, but just say they would be brave to have a character to come up with on the spot. I'm sorry I did engage with that character more, but as we focus on just getting to the back room. Point to Jackie for keeping us moving at the beginning. I think speak for everyone when I say we were all a bit sluggish at the start here. And you kept us moving. Point to Ashraf for just never ceasing the scams. They're always incredible. Point to Kristen for sorry. Point to Kristen for just always being able to step in and making absolutely terrible drinks. And point to Tice for this is going to sound really weird, but I really enjoyed having all the rooms named after cards. As somebody who quite likes cards, and when they have a deck of cards in their hand, it becomes a nervous tick to shuffle them. And I was actually shuffling cards during this session, so I really enjoyed that little nugget of world building there.
All right, I'll go. Jackie for just playing your character and being so stoked, not really reacting to anything but like the small details of opening the door and stuff like that. Ed for always having some sort of scam going. In particular, I like that it is unknowingly but helping our team progress. Like we have a bag full of just an insane amount of money now that we are using. Troy for having coming up with an interesting character on the fly and getting that going quickly and getting a name in such a fast time, because that's always my hardest part, is coming up with a name. Viv for making me thought that we had a pretty healthy working partnership, and now I'm beginning to question that. So thank you for your dedication. Kristen, for your quick thinking and just finding ways to take advantage of the situation. And Tice for the world building, all little details and stuff you added, like the special drinks and glasses coming out when we first met Charles Bromstone and stuff like that. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah, so to Tice for the underground necromancer gambling ring situation, which is pretty strange. Troy, for the king, played a really good king. I've got a really good idea of his personality. He's just like you are so honorable and honest. He's like, yes, I am. I am exactly all those things. Chris were just like basically just we distracted someone. You're just like, yeah, I got it. I'll just pick the guy's pocket. It's not a problem. And then you just pick his pocket. It's like not even a problem. It's like the Great Fox all over again. Jackie for being the only person that can actually back up our threats, because none of us seem to be capable of even moderately difficult physical confrontation. Chris and I liked the scene where we basically came in and you're just like, I go up to the bar, talk to the bartender, and Kristen's just like, I am the bartender. Reminding me of this scene from like the IT crowd where Moss is just behind the bar for inexplicable reasons. And then Viv for attempting to draw blood because he needed to do it, and then saying like, I'll guts a wrench, and then causing Chris to improvise.
All right, I'll jump in. Point to Viv for having Remy do the blood sacrifice, or the blood on the coin. I thought that was kind of funny that you're like, I've got the coin, but I'm not giving my blood for this. Remy for the epic pickpocket. When I was coming up with that plan, I had no idea if any of us were going to even be capable of pulling off the pickpocket. So it was pretty awesome that you were just like, "Yep, I got this." Jackie.
Lost Troy.
Oh, he's gone. No points for him. Just kidding. No, Jackie. There was a point where, like, out of character, I said something about our team not really having much muscle, and then, like, you were like, "Wait, was that in game?" Like, because you were just ready to have your character react to that, being, the only muscle in the group. Let's see. Tice, great job DMing this one. I liked the casino setting and, like, the different card rooms. That was a really cool setting. Ed, always be grifting. The dowel grift was pretty cool. It was just nice to just always have these little, like, Easter eggs of different grifts that are going on at any given moment. And then a point to Troy, even though he's not here, for his king finally getting that battle axe. That useless battle axe. And that was everyone on my end. And I think Troy might have been the last one to get points out, but he might be asleep right now.
Oh no! I'm particularly excited to see if the dowel rods that are supposedly rods of explosions comes into play in your escape.
I haven't decided how to use them still. It's always useful to have some valuable thing, because people were calling me out and being like, "Hey, we need to have some valuable stuff to partner with." I was like, me having no valuable stuff, I had to go make sure I got some.
Improvisational criminality. Did anyone else want to take a run? Did everybody go?
I think everybody went except for Troy, who's mysteriously dropped off for the evening.
All right, that's okay. We'll get his input later.
I will begrudgingly take one less point than I'm accustomed to.
Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. We will continue next week, where we'll find out the conclusion of this and begin looking for Troy's character, which is the final recruit, and which will probably involve you guys going to the moon. So that'll be fun.
Exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out the completion of the casino thing, because I don't even know.
Yeah, this will be exciting. I mean, you've got the goods. Mission accomplished. Now it's just get out alive. But the party's split up. You're in like 3 different places. The main advantage you've got is that Barnabas is still disguised as an employee and free to move about. No one's caught Remy yet. Remy's just in a tenuous situation. And yeah, Evatala is also not really caught, just in a tenuous situation. Although Evatala seems like she's just going to try and take the room for all it's worth.
I have a free crime for a reason.
Yeah, and now they have that one person that has the body also has a card that was in a frame as well.
Yeah, Remy took that.
Now might be a good time to spend some experience points. Yeah. Before it really pops off. I'm going to try and consider that myself.
And
Yeah, the only thing on that card that says it just says get out free.
Consider all your abilities that may come into play. All right, I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll pick up next week.